Dr. Decks here. Today it's all about trim work, fascia boards, and corners. So follow along and see how we do. Thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that bell icon as well if you want to be notified when we're putting out fresh content. And check out this sweet bucket hat. You can get yours at our merch store. Link is in the description right down below. All right, man, we're gonna keep going on this trim. When you're doing exposed screws, because a lot of our stuff on our decks is called Cortex, which means it's a hidden fastener and a plugging system. But if we're not using Cortex, like this fascia board is only 1/2 inch thick, we can't run a Cortex plug in it because it won't hold, at least not over the long haul, I don't think. So what we're doing is we're pre-drilling and then we're putting color match screws in, so all of our rows are exactly the same and all of our spacing is the same. So it looks a little bit nicer when you look up at the deck and you see the screws. At least they're all at the same elevation and the same straight lines, and it looks really nice. So we're just doing a pre-layout where we put our screws in at a specific area, and then it makes it a little bit easier when you go to install a board as well. So Naz can take this board now, go over there and set it up and install it. I'm laying out the next board, and it's just kind of a rotation system like that where we're just working from one end and working all the way around the other side of the deck.
Obviously can't see the gaps on here, but there's gaps on the bottom, so I just wanted to space them out evenly. Otherwise, it's pretty handy dandy. When Jay made these corners on Friday, you can just slip into the little groove section and you hide all your ends of the cut, so gives it a nice pro look.
What's up? Finishing up some prep work. Then I get to finish caulking.
Help me.
Well, that's the first time.
Caveman way. Yeah, first for everything, right? I haven't done that in a while. So I just put a new Diablo blade on this saw. It's very high tooth. I think it's 60 teeth. Yeah, 60 teeth on a 7 1/4 inch blade is equivalent to like a 100 tooth 12 inch blade. It cuts really fine, so there's no lag, no chips, nothing. It's real smooth cut, and PVC cuts real clean when you have a really sharp, nice blade on. So that's what I like to cut my PVC cuts. Any finish cuts we'll do on this little Metabo HPT 7 1/4 inch saw. It's designed for trim. It's very accurate, and when you put a nice blade on it, it cuts amazing. So that's what I've been rocking for this entire trim set that we're using right now. So that blade is top notch. So you can come in on that and see how clean the cut is. There's no chips or anything. And as far as kerf, it shows very little kerf as well on the edge of the board. So that's a nice cut. Let's see what happens. You're probably not going to be able to install it like that. Well, maybe. Still tight? Or is it just...
No,
okay.
I think we're good.
Now you're good.
Yeah.
The screws are sticking through too far too. I've got this fascia coming in here, okay? And then I got a piece of fascia coming this way, but this is full width.
Yeah.
This is only 2 inches, okay? So if I bring this piece out and stop it right here, or actually I'd probably, regardless if I stop it here or go an inch past it for this piece to butt into it, I was thinking about detailing this end with, not with paint, either doing a folded corner on the end so that it goes like that, or I've never done this before and I've never talked to anybody about this before, and now it's on camera, so don't take my idea. This is kind of nuts and it's dangerous. It's really dangerous to do this. I've already talked to AZEK about this, and they want me to do the R&D on it. But I'm gonna take and I'm gonna shave the capstock off a piece of decking. and then I'm gonna glue it to the side of the deck board so it looks like it has end grain going around with 2P10, and I'm gonna file it all down, maybe do a little touch up if I have to. So this end grain that's facing out actually has grain on it. I said, hey, can I get a sheet of just the capstock material?
Yeah.
They're like, what are you talking about, doctor? Where are you going with this? I'm like, well, so then you get a, you're trying to like type it all out and explain to somebody what your concept is, and they're all like, I don't know. We don't know. So if it becomes a thing, problem is, I'm going to do this on my table saw, dangerous. So don't try this, guys. What I'm about to try, don't try it. I don't recommend it. I don't endorse it. All right, so I have to go fit this board up against a chimney, and I don't know if the chimney's square or jagged or if the board's gonna look good against it, so I cut this board long. So let's go up here and see how it fits. So I can see right now, I've got a little bit of a gap on the top. I'm touching at the bottom, so I'm just gonna take my pencil. I've got enough length. Now, if I'm really particular, I would notch around this piece of brick, but I don't think I'm gonna do that today. I think I'm just gonna scribe this to get my angle. Another trick you can do is if you have a fender washer, you can put a fender washer up against your pencil and run it up and down the board as well, and it'll kind of give you the same thing. But like I said, I left myself some play, but not a ton of play. All I know is that I have a little bit of gap at the top of this board, and I want to make that the tightest spot. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I am trying to cover up our G-tape with a little ripped piece of siding. There we go. So then when you're coming up the stairs, you just see the siding continue down.
Yeah, that looks nice. Better, much better. All right, so right now we're gonna make some spacers. We've pretty much finished almost all of our fascia. I have one more piece I'm trying to put in, but Naziz's gonna get started on some spacers, making some spacers for the special detail that we're gonna put on the outside of the deck. Now that the fascia's all up, we can install our final trim piece that is going to cover up all the end grains of the deck. So we'll get that done, and then we gotta make these spacers and install all those first. So I'm gonna make a bunch of spacers out of this board, and we'll install those first before we put up our final end piece.
How many of these do you have to make?
100.
100. Apparently I'm like the king of multiple cuts. What we cut on Jody's deck? Like, I mean...
Oh man, all those, holy smoke. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you got something out of today's video. If you did, don't forget. If you did, don't forget to. If you did, don't forget the subscribe button. And furthermore, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we're putting out fresh content. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Stay level, my friends.